everybody, it's Minius, and I had to break this lore video up into 3 full parts. I wanted to cover galactic civilization in the Milky Way from the Citadel to the Council, and there's just way too much good information to fit into one video. So this video, part 1, will cover the mass relay system and explain why the Citadel is so important to galactic society. Part 2, which should be out relatively quick, will cover the Galactic Council and its impact on the current races of the Milky Way. And Part 3 will be on the culture inside the Citadel itself, and how that spreads throughout the galaxy. But let's start with the premier structure of the Milky Way, the Citadel, which is a massive and ancient station out in deep space. It's 44.7 kilometers long and up to 12.8 kilometers wide, weighing a total of 7.11 billion metric tons, and holds a population of over 13 million, at least during the Mass Effect trilogy. It's got 2 basic features, a 553 meter thick ring with a 7.2 kilometer diameter called the Presidium, and connected to that are 5 extremely long arms called wards, which buildings are built on that contain the majority of the station's population. The current races of the Milky Way believe that the station was built by the Protheans, but the truth was revealed to us in the original Mass Effect. While the Citadel does serve as a space station, it's actually a colossal mass relay to dark space, where its true creators, the gigantic trash-talking machines known as Reapers, lie in wait to ambush galactic civilization every 50,000 years or so. So it's neat,
but the Citadel is a trap.
The Protheans who came before used the Citadel as the seat of their government to run their intra-galactic empire, and the Reapers use the Citadel to jump through and metaphorically kick the Prothean government in the face, a blow from which they never recovered. And this appears to have happened countless times to all the civilizations that came before the Protheans. So here's a good question. Why does anybody bother making this random abandoned space station out in deep space the heart of their civilization? Sure, it's large and cool looking, but when we find a ruin of an ancient city on Earth, we don't move in and make it a political, cultural, and financial capital. When it comes to the Citadel, this appears to have been done repeatedly. Why? Well, we aren't told exactly, but several reasons are inferred by all of the information surrounding the Citadel that we are given. And the biggest reason probably has to do with a mass relay network. This is all basic Mass Effect knowledge, but the Milky Way galaxy is huge. Alien races have faster than light technology, but that can only take them so far. At top speed, it still takes forever to get across the galaxy, and using FTL drives builds up a static electrical charge. After about 50 hours of use for the average ship, this energy must be discharged on a planet, moon, or the magnetic field of one of those two. Basically, it's completely unreasonable to travel extreme distances, but in order to truly have a galactic society, those distances must be connected. Enter the Mass Relay Network, a collection of technological marvels that create corridors of virtually mass-free space, which allows ships to travel up to thousands of light years instantaneously, which is travel that would ordinarily take up to centuries to complete with the standard faster-than-light tech. There are 2 types of mass relays. Primary relays can propel ships enormous distances, but have only a 1-to-1 connection, meaning they only send you to one place. Secondary relays have a much shorter range, hundreds of light years, but can connect you to any other relay within that range. And without the mass relay system, galactic society simply couldn't exist. Some star systems, like Earth's Sol system, have only a single relay. Others have many. Omega Sarabaric's system appears to have at least 4, given that one is specifically called the Omega-4 relay. However, the Citadel, even though it's out in the middle of space, has a network of several dozen relays. If you're looking to govern or dominate the galaxy, or just want to control the most trade routes, you're going to want to hold on to the Citadel, which is an incredibly easy position to defend. Not only is it beneficial to place a large fleet there, given that you can deploy that fleet in several dozen directions, but it can be easily reinforced by fleets from other parts of the galaxy. Also, the entire station is surrounded by the massive Serpent Nebula. The nebula itself is believed to be artificial, perhaps dating back to the creation of the station. But unlike other nebulae, the Serpent Nebula doesn't dissipate, and is probably replenished constantly by non-recyclable waste from the Citadel itself. While this nebula cloud is pretty, it serves a far more serious defensive function. It is incredibly difficult for ships to navigate the cloud. Electrical discharges from the cloud are common, are not stopped by kinetic barriers, and can severely damage starships. Also, dense knots of dust can overwhelm the kinetic barriers of smaller ships, especially if they're moving at speed. If you're attacking the Citadel and manage to get past the Serpent Nebula, and the large fleet that's almost certainly guarding it, and the reinforcements that can come from throughout the galaxy with ease, the Citadel itself can simply fold up, becoming virtually impregnable. And in addition to all of that, the Citadel comes with its own caretaker service, a docile and multi-limbed insect-like race called the Keepers that seem solely to exist to serve and maintain the station and can't be found anywhere else in the galaxy. Any new sapient species that discovers the Citadel is greeted by the Keepers, who then do everything in their power to help the newcomers learn how to properly use the station. So given all of this, it's really not all that surprising that cycle after cycle, the most important or powerful civilizations put a lot of themselves into the Citadel, making it the true heart of the Milky Way galaxy. If you like this video, please give it a like. It really helps out the channel. Keep an eye out for part 2 and other Mass Effect videos, but for now...
The station is actually an enormous mass relay, one that links to dark space, the empty void beyond the galaxy's horizon.